Hi friends, first of all thanks for being in my YouTube channel JBR English Assistant. Today, as in part of this video, I wanted to explain the poem What is a Player, which is written by Jessica Taylor. Before we take up the stanzas of this poem What is a Player, we shall try to focus over the biography of the author. So Jessica Taylor was born in Louisiana, one of the states in US. She was born on 23rd June 1980, and she's a young poetess because since from the early childhood Jessica Taylor developed a genuine and ardent interest towards music and poetry. She started writing poems since from the age of 14, and that is the reason why she is called a young poetess. Most of her poems have focused, most of her poems reflected emotional issues with an emotional touch. She wrote many popular poems, among them a few are here: Loneliness, I Miss You, I Hate, and I Am Worried. Okay, dear friends, let us come back to this poem. What is a player? What is the main content of this poem? What is a player? The main theme, the main content in the poem, What is a Player, is the poet's views on the traits of a true player. The poetess Jessica Taylor has some views, she has a few opinions on the characteristics or the qualities of a true player, and she has vividly, clearly explained them in the lines of this poem, What is a Player? Through this poem, she tries to convey the qualities or the traits that a true player should have. Okay, dear friends, let us go through the lines of this poem, What is a Player? A player is one who does not give up at the sight of defeat, but learns from their mistake and puts them beneath. Dear friends, when you look at the first stanza, it contains 4 lines in total. We can divide the 4 lines into 2 parts. The first 2 lines is the first part, and the latter 2 lines are the second part. Come on, have a look at the first part, first 2 lines. A player is one who does not give up at the sight of defeat, but learns from their mistake and puts them beneath. Dear friends, when we concentrate over the first line of these 2 lines, the first line says that a true player does not stop even at the sight of defeat. Means what? Even though a player knows that the defeat is inevitable, even though the player knows that the opponent is going to defeat him in the game, still he never gives up. Still he continues to struggle. He never stops his trial and he continues the game speed, but learns from their mistake and puts them beneath. A true player always tries to learn something new from his mistake. A true player always tries to learn a new lessons from his mistake. And he puts all his mistakes, he puts all his defeats beneath. So according to Jessica Taylor, a true player always tries to learn from his mistakes, and he uses his mistakes as though the stepping stones to reach the destination of success. A true player always uses all his failures A true player always uses all his mistakes as the stepping stone to reach the destination of success, according to the poet Jessica Taylor. Because a player knows that the failure is a detour but not a dead end. Because if a true player knows that the failure is another way to get the success. So he always tries to learn new things from the mistakes he commits when he plays the games. We shall move to the next two lines of the first stanza. A player is one who does not give up at the sound of the buzzer, always giving what they have from one side of the court to the other. Shall focus on the first line, dears, particularly the last word in the third line, buzzer. What is a buzzer? Buzzer is a device that makes a buzzing sound. Buzzer is a device that makes a buzzing sound. Usually, this device is used in the sports and games in order to intimate the players that they got the leisure time, that they got the free time. So when somebody wants to convey the message that they got the leisure time, they use this device. What is that? Buzzer. But here, a true player never wanted to utilize, a true player never wanted to use even that leisure time to take a free. He never tried to spend his time ideally. So a true player, according to this line, a true player always concentrate on his practice. He always tries to get perfection in the game what he is preparing for. So he never cares for the free time. He never tried to take the leisure time though it is given to him. Always giving what they have from one side of the court to other. So here the fourth line explains. It says that a true player always tries to give the best of him. That means he always tries to give the toughest competition for the opponent, for his opponent. He puts his complete effort. So that is the meaning we could understand from this line. Always giving what they have from one side of the court to the other. That means he always tries to give the toughest competition to the opponent, so who stands on the other side of the court. So that is all about the first stanza. We shall move to the next stanza here, dears. A player is one who does not whine about their playtime, because a player knows it is an unacceptable crime. So Jessica Taylor considered something is an unacceptable crime. According to Jessica Taylor, what is an unacceptable crime of a true player? If he makes a complaint about his playtime. If a player makes a complaint about his playtime, if he grumbles about his playtime, it is an unacceptable crime according to her. So, according to Jessica Taylor, a true player never complains about his playtime. He never cares whether it is day or night. He never cares whether it is sunny or rainy. He always gets ready to practice the game. He always gets ready to get the perfection, because he knows very well that complaining about the playtime is an unacceptable crime. Shall move to the next line, two lines of the second stanza. A player is one who practices game speed, always keeping in mind that the shots are not guaranteed. Yes, a true player always practices the game speed. That means he always tries to cope up with all other members in the team. He always tries to cooperate with them. He always tries to walk along with the other members in the team, always keeping in mind that the shots are not guaranteed. See that? So we have to pay careful attention over the last line in the second stanza. What is that? Always keeping in mind that their shots are not guaranteed. So here, Jessica Taylor explained another quality of a true player. What is that? A true player should never have the feeling of overconfidence. He should never have the feeling of overconfidence. So the idea is very clear when you look at the last line of the second stanza. Always keeping in mind that the shots are not guaranteed. Even though they are skillful, even though they are skillful, even though they have grabbed every knowledge of the game, still they should feel that they are lacking something. Still they should feel that their shots are not guaranteed. Still they got to pay much concentration in whatever they do. So according to Jessica Taylor, once again I'm telling you this point. According to Jessica Taylor, a true player should never have the quality of overconfidence. You should be very meticulous in what he is doing. You should be very careful in whatever the activity he is involved in. Okay, dear, that is all about the second stanza. We shall move to the next one, third stanza now. A player is one who does not settle anything for less, even knowing that they are not the best. That they are not the best. We shall talk about the second line of the third stanza first. What is that? Even knowing that they are not the best. Yes, a true player may know. A true player may know that his team may not the best one. He may know that his team is not the best one. Still, he does not settle anything for less. Even though he knows that the team is not so strong, even though he knows the team is not the best one, still the ambition of a true player should be at the highest level. So here, Jessica Taylor explained, she gave a vivid description about the ambition, how should be the ambition of a player. The ambition of a player should always be at the esteemed level. It should be always at the highest position. He should never settle for the less, anything less. That means a true player should not have the less ambitions in his life. His ambition should always be at the highest level, even though he knows that the team is not the best one. Right? We shall go towards the next line, dear. They will be the ones who see outside practicing day or night, rain or shine. So they practice the game. They practice the game irrespective of weather conditions. They never care for the rainy season. They never care for the daytime. They never care for the nighttime. They never care for any kind of inappropriate weather conditions. So a true player, he never care. He never frightens. He never get fear of any difficult situation of weather. Because it is clearly mentioned in the first line, complaining about the playtime. Second line, the second stanza, it is clearly said, complaining about the playtime is an unacceptable crime. So, a true player is always seen practicing outside. A true player is always seen practicing outside, irrespective of bad weather conditions. They are the ones running on hot angles, admitting they are fine. Yes. Though they run on hurt ankles, the ankle which is damaged. Even though they run on the damaged ankles, even though they are running on the damaged ankle, still they admit, still they say that they are all right. Yes, people may feel pity and ask them how they are feeling after a particular injury. But a true player, he never excuse, he never take advantage of any injury he gets during the play. So he may get an injury when he plays the game, but he may not. If he is a true player, definitely he never take the advantage of the injury he gets in the play. Even though he is injured severely, even though his ankles are damaged completely, still he says that he is okay. Still he says that he is fine to go to maintain the game speed. Okay, we shall move to the next stanza, dears. A player is one. A player is one who has a strong and sensible mind, never pondering about failing, only contemplating prevailing. See, so in the last stanza, Jessica Taylor explains the mind, how should be the mindset of a true player. A true player should have a strong and sensible mind. A true player should be a person. A true player should be a person with a strong mind. A true player should be a person with a sensible mind. If he had strong and sensible mind, he will never think about his failings. If a true player has a strong and sensible mind, he never think about his weakness. But he could think, but he can think, but he will concentrate on only his superior strength. He could think about his superior strength he has got. So when do you think a true player always concentrate something that he had? When do you think a true player thinks about his positive qualities? When he had a strong and sensible mind. If he had a strong and sensible mind, he always considered his positive qualities. He always considered that the supreme qualities and strength in himself, and never ponders, he never think about his failings or the weakness. Let us move and take the next lines. A player is one who does not chicken out, who wants to be in the game when everything counts. Come on, once again. A player is one who does not chicken out, right? A player should never have the quality of fear in his mind, because a true player knows very well fear is the evil element that spoils, that damages the mind completely. So, as the fear damages, as the fear completely destroys our mind, a true player should never allow the feeling of fear into his mind. Who wants to be in the game when everything counts? Yes. So when you are in the game, every movement of the player will be counted very carefully. For example, if a player misses a catch, it will be counted. If the player misses the ball towards the boundary line, it will also be counted. So when he is in the game, everything is counted. So he should be very meticulous. He should be very careful. He ought to be very careful when he is participating in the game. In such time, if he gets the feeling of fear into his mind, he may not give the best in the game. He may not show. He may not able to face the opponents in a very regimented way. So, according to Jessica Taylor, a true player should never allow the feeling of fear in his mind. Okay, so now that is a true player. Yes, the qualities what I've mentioned throughout the four stanzas are the inevitable qualities of the player. He should have all the quality that I have mentioned in the four stanzas of this poem. Jessica Taylor says, if he has all these qualities that I talked about in these three stanzas, then he